full blue light. The story reads like a chapter from a pulp magazine, yet it was filed as a real-world report, offered not with theatrical embellishment, but with the tremulous sincerity of two men who insisted they had witnessed something extraordinary. News of the incident spread faster than a dockside rumor. The fishermen went to the authorities, and soon the small town of Pascagoula had something to talk about besides shipyard schedules and fishing conditions. Local reaction ran the gamut from fearful curiosity to outright panic, with calls flooding the sheriff's department. National media joined the conversation, turning the pair into fixtures of nightly speculation. Some outlets gave the visitors a nickname that stuck, the Clawmen, which had the unfortunate effect of making the situation sound like a B-movie with a catchy trailer. For Charles and Calvin, however, there was nothing jaunty about it. Calvin, in particular, spoke of prolonged trauma, and their lives, they said, were never quite the same. When a story this odd hits the public sphere, witnesses and evidence become the currency of credibility. And here, the Pascagoula case got complicated. The drawbridge near where the men were fishing was tended around the clock, and at the time, 2 bridge tenders were on duty with a clear view of the river. They reported seeing nothing. That absence of corroboration by those ideally located to notice is a big hole in the narrative, especially for those who like their mysteries accompanied by physical proof. Yet, other locals did come forward with reports of strange blue lights that evening. One man, leaving his car at dusk, described powerful LED-like lights on the riverbank. A woman in her backyard said she watched blue lights moving. These testimonies added texture, but they fell short of a photograph, a piece of wreckage, or any other hard evidence you can pin to a bulletin board. Questions about the men themselves compounded skepticism. Charles reportedly refused a polygraph test, a decision that prompted some observers to ask why. Critics also accused both men of profiting from media appearances and interviews, suggesting that financial incentive might have colored their recounting. Charles was alleged to have made significant earnings from the story, which inevitably fed the narrative that fame and money could be more motivating than truth. Supporters countered that any money was compensation for time lost and the stress of constant public scrutiny. Private tape recordings exist from when the men were alone, and those who had hoped to catch them contradicting themselves claimed the tapes showed consistent accounts, which complicates the argument either way. Skeptics have offered a variety of alternative explanations, because where a fantastical claim appears, rational alternatives will follow. One possibility is simple fabrication, a sensational story crafted for attention. Another is alcohol or a waking dream state, a not implausible suggestion when 2 men, at night and by the river, report an experience that could be consistent with hallucination.